Hello friends, today I'm going to talk about how to become safe. In order to become safe is very easy.
The word chef comes from the French term chef de cuisine and means director or head of a kitchen. Food is so important to the French that students are taught about classic French dishes. Chefs come to classes and teach students how to taste, smell, and yes, cook. Thus, not surprisingly, the French have influenced much of the world's cuisine. For example, Auguste Escoffier, a French chef and writer, is a legendary figure. He published Le Guide Culinaire, considered by many the Bible of cooking. I used the word cuisine earlier, so what does it mean? A cuisine is a specific set of cooking traditions and practices. For example, you have African cuisine, Asian cuisine, and fusion cuisine. For us humans, eating is not only a basic activity but also a dilemma. A vast amount of our brain space and time revolves around the subject of food. So my first piece of advice, if you are considering being a chef, you have to go beyond just loving food or cooking. There has to be a much deeper passion. A passion that, for example, motivates you to travel hundreds of miles just to sample an item of food. So after this broad introduction, let's return to our objective. What does a chef actually do? So firstly, we have the cooking component. A chef is capable of cooking and presenting a wide variety of foods. But this does not happen from day one. So in the beginning, you could be involved in the cutting and peeling of food items. With time, you begin preparing side dishes, followed by main dishes. Chefs are also involved in food tasting and presentation. There is a saying that you eat with your eyes first. Thus, the visual sensation of a dish is as important as its flavor. Then there is strategy planning. How do you plan for a wedding banquet or a political fundraising dinner? What would be your strategy if you're setting a stall at the local food market? Chefs are also responsible for managing kitchen inventory. Chefs raise inventory requisitions which are reviewed and approved by more senior chefs. Doing this may require awareness of certain computer applications. Now, how do you become a chef? Having spoken to a few people, there are two common routes. The first route begins after you finish metric or grade 12. At this point, you start your career as an apprentice in a restaurant. This means that you learn skills by watching and assisting other chefs. Those who choose this route may also study further while on the job. This is a good thing to do since employers normally help with getting a degree or diploma. In a few years' time, you not only have practical experience but also the necessary educational qualifications to back you up. The other route involves getting a full-time education. These courses are normally 3 to 4 years in duration and involve taking entrance tests and interviews. Most programs offer a broad education in nutrition, food preparation techniques, pastry making, and other basic cooking knowledge. Now imagine yourself as a chef. What are some of the joys and challenges of your job? Let's start with the joys. As a chef, you get the opportunity to make people happy. Happy with a great dining experience, one that they will cherish forever. You never know who you will serve next. An individual we interviewed served as the personal chef of our country's Prime Minister. How many other professions offer such opportunities? As a chef, your kitchen is your lab, and you get plenty of opportunities to experiment. Lastly, as mentioned before, this job is not only about preparing food. You could also mix your love for food with other skills. For example, many chefs are keen food photographers. Now let's look at the challenges. You have to be mentally and physically fit since this job involves long hours. The role also demands a high level of commitment. One person we interviewed said work prevented him from being around during the birth of his children. Now let's look at the prospects of being a chef. You would start as a trainee chef or apprentice. In this role you learn what it takes to become a chef from seniors. With time you become a chef de partie or line cook. You would run a certain section of the kitchen such as pastry, fish, sauces, vegetables and so on. The next role is that of a sous chef. Here you would be second in command. A sous chef is accountable for the kitchen's inventory, cleanliness, organization and training of other kitchen staff. Finally, you progress into the role of an executive or head chef. This person is in charge of all things related to the kitchen, which usually includes menu creation, management of kitchen staff, purchase and presentation. Cooking at this stage would take a backseat. Diversification into other roles such as restaurant manager or food and beverage director is another option. Lastly, many chefs opt for the entrepreneurial route and start their own restaurants.
Hello friends, I hope you learn how to become safe from this video. See you in next comment video.